Hi artists, we are about to try out our Matisse cutouts, and here this is the first step of this project, which I did mention it in the intro, was to get yourselves a bunch of different color paper, and we were super excited. Greta and I were excited to find paper that has not only fluorescent colors but also two sides, yellows, oranges, pinks, and greens. And then we're also going to use this blackish blue color because it makes a nice contrast with those colors. I wanted to show you this one again because a couple of different things are happening with this particular Matisse cutout. One is that he's used a lot of abstract shapes, very simple shapes that we recognize as a square. You might think, okay, this kind of looks like a plant. And then he has these, which I don't know about you, but when I was looking at this, it made me think of, oh, there, it just went away. It made me think of swings or like trapeze or something like that, which I thought was so cool. And a couple of things that he does with this particular one is that he does some layering. He doesn't do this with all of his cutouts, but with this one he has orange on top of white, and then yellow on top of that one, green on top of that, the yellow squiggly shapes on top, some things on top of here and not on top of there, and then these that come all the way across the space, which I thought was really neat about this particular one. So you can do that kind of thing if you want to, but it's totally up to you. So what we're doing first, and Greta's got it started here, is that we are cutting our papers. So we're just cutting the papers into different shapes. Right now we're mostly doing just some abstract shapes, but we do have a few ones that are a little more specific. And I'm probably going to do some of these squiggly type ones, and maybe I'll even do one that looks like something else, like that one that I showed you with the horse. So if you wanted to do some things like that, you want to go ahead, start off with that. And you also want to find one piece that you want to use as your background color. I haven't decided that yet, but we will be right back. Hi, I just wanted to show you a couple things that we discovered as we're working. So here's a lot of our cut paper, which I think it's so cool that we have two sides to it. But I wanted to show you this because here we have what we call a negative shape. And negative shapes are what's left when you've cut something else out. So I cut out this shape that looked like a hand. And now I've got this shape of the negative of the hand, which I think is really neat. And I'm probably going to use it in my collage. So at this point, once you have a whole bunch of shapes that you can use and lots of cutouts, this is the point that you can start to arrange them. And I wouldn't suggest that you actually glue anything down until you're happy with your arrangement. So the first thing to do would be to get some of the largest pieces that you're going to be putting underneath if you're going to be layering your shapes. If you're not layering your shapes, then you can just put them all over, separate on your paper. So some of Matisse's are just like that too, where he just has the shapes kind of separate from each other. For mine, I am definitely layering because I find that to be a little bit more exciting. Some different things kind of happen when you layer. So I'm going to start with my largest shapes. I'm going to use these two rectangles first. And I'm going to arrange everything until I'm happy with it on my paper, and then I am going to glue it on last. So the next step is for you to get your biggest shapes and start to arrange them, and then put your smallest shapes on top. So we'll go ahead and do that and we'll be back. Okay, we had a lot of fun with this paper, as you can see. So this is our arrangement generally. It probably will change a little bit once we've got the glue down. Greta, you are just going to town here. So we're going to be back once it's glued. But what we want to do for gluing is to take it off layer by layer and put the glue underneath the big ones, middle ones, top ones. So if you're doing a lot of layering like we just did, you need to start with the first layer and then keep going up as you're working. Okay, I'll show you how to do that in a second too. So we're going to take these back off. Okay, we just thought of a very cool solution, which is we made a sandwich of our papers and we flipped it. That way we can see the first layer as we're going up. I hope that makes sense. So we took another piece of paper, put it on the other side, put it and flipped it over so that we can get all of these pieces onto our original paper. So we're going to put the glue on next. We have glue sticks. If you have just regular glue, that's fine too. We're going to put them on these different shapes and glue them onto our larger paper. All right, so this is kind of working out pretty well, although with my two-sided paper, I have to make sure that I flip it. So it kind of gets a little confusing, but that's okay because this is an abstract picture, so it's all right. So what we're doing here is taking the glue stick, putting the glue in the spot that we're going to put the paper, and then taking each layer and gluing it onto it one piece at a time. And we'll be back after we've gotten more of that done. So it's basically putting those layers back on again with the glue. All right, so here I have most of my pieces on my paper and they're all glued down, as you can see. We might need a little more glue in a few places. And then, so at this point you can sort of say, okay, do I want to layer this more or I'm happy with it? Just play a little bit around with things until you feel like you are done. And as you can see, like, this turned out really fun because I've got lots of colors and contrast, and I am betting that yours is going to turn out even cooler than mine, because when you are so excited about color like I am, you end up getting some really neat images. So I am excited to see what you come up with. Please make sure that you send these to me so I can put them in the shared folder and everybody can see them on Seesaw. All right, everybody, hope you enjoyed this one, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.